Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Darren Brazil, sitting here with Scott Kalura. And today, there was an announcement that there will be a spin-off series coming from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that will air on ABC.
That's right.
And this kind of came out of nowhere, and there's not too many details surrounding what it's going to be about, so we're kind of here to speculate a little bit. But that being said, who do you think this spin-off will be based on? Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of already is a spin-off of the MCU.
Right, yes. And the MCU is a spin-off of the comics, right?
Exactly.
So, there are a lot of options, I think. Mockingbird was the first one that came to mind. She's not really called Mockingbird right now, but it's the Adrian Palicki character who, in my opinion, has brought so much life to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in season 2. She's really great, and she, I think, has very quickly become a fan favorite character.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
could be her. Deathlock, who I guess I didn't see this week's episode, but I hear he might be back.
He'll come back. Sorry for the spoilers.
Yeah.
But he's back and he's upgraded, and yeah, he's been working with Coulson. There's been a lot of stuff that we haven't seen about him recently. So yeah, there's some spots to fill in there.
Yeah. So and then we have the Edward James Olmos, the real S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
That whole team. Could they be getting their own show? That's a possibility.
I'm still confused. I haven't picked a side yet.
And our own Eric Goldman in the LA office was suggesting possibly Sky. In the comics, Sky is also a character known as Quake.
Yes.
Because of the quaking powers, right? And that he was suggesting maybe she could even get her own show with an Inhuman spin or something. I don't know about that. I mean,
they're adding a lot of depth there, so that could be possible. But there's tons of options.
Yeah.
The other option, too, is maybe they don't stay in the same time period. We know that Ant-Man has a lot of history to it back, I believe, in the 60s. Also, we saw Agent Carter, right, playing back in the World War II era. So could they get out of this time period, possibly?
Yeah, I think that, you were the first one who mentioned that idea to me, and I thought that was awesome, actually. Peggy Carter, obviously, her show was in the 40s. We hear that there's a cameo scene of some kind with Peggy Carter and possibly a young Ant-Man set in the 1960s, as well as Howard Stark, Tony Stark's dad. And this is all in Ant-Man this summer. So you would almost make sense that possibly they would be building off that scene and giving it its own show and exploring that sort of unknown history of how is it the SSR?
I believe so,
Okay,
yes.
We Googled it before we shot.
The origins of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, the origins of S.H.I.E.L.D. How the SSR became S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
So I think that's a possibility as well. And in that case, you're working in a time period for the MCU that really has been untouched. We haven't seen anything.
And there needs to be some connective tissue, considering, there's these 2 points in time, and there's really nothing that fills it in between. So
right.
It's opportunity.
Yeah.
Speaking of Agent Carter was a short eight-show run that kind of filled the gap between a break for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Do you think that this spinoff will serve that purpose as well? Will it be a short 8-series run rather than a full series?
I kind of hope so, in a way. I think that these longer seasons on ABC, on network television, aren't always the best way to go, especially when you're trying something out. And I thought Agent Carter worked really well as an 8-episode series. I liked Agent Carter a lot. I don't think it was the ratings bonanza that ABC was hoping for. So it may not be back next year, or at least not as that version of Agent Carter. So possibly this will be that fill-in again in the mid-season break for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets another S.H.I.E.L.D. spinoff for 8 episodes. And it seems like a great way to test the waters and see if you have a concept that fans are going to take to and that audiences are willing to watch. And if Agent Carter had done gangbuster ratings, we would already have heard about a second season, right?
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe this will be a mix of all of the above. I mean, maybe it will go back in time a bit, but we'll still be able to have Peggy Carter in it, Haley Atwell. Maybe you could even have more direct tie-ins to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. We were talking earlier about how Nick Fury is possibly ageless, right? He's referred to having known Howard Stark and worked for Howard Stark.
Which is difficult when you see the age of Sam Jackson's character. You're wondering how is that possible, but there's comic tie-ins to that.
Yeah, comics.
Yeah, comics, exactly. #comics. Well, that's great. I mean, hey, the more MCU content we get, the better.
Oh,
so you can't really complain about it.
Yep.
We're just speculating, but leave your ideas in the comments below. Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And for more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything MCU, keep it locked to IGN.